evening and welcome to the society and all the things. I'm just checking that my sound is coming through because last time it wasn't. Okay, it is. Lovely. Good evening and welcome to the society, our weekly Vaesen RPG campaign. My name is Loki and I will be your game master for these dark and thrilling tales. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this, the second episode of Chapter 8, and I hope that we delight, fright and intrigue you with mystery and adventure. So without further ado, let's meet our cast. And here they are! Oh no, over here. Fabulous! Take it away.
Hello everyone, I'm Dan, also known as Divin Inc., and I will be playing Dagmar Eriksson.
Hello, I'm Amy, and I'll be playing Signy Valebrook.
I am Jack, and I'll be playing Mr. Bartholomew Seaton, the officer. I mean, the businessman, not the officer anymore.
That's... gasp. Gasp. We have a number of people we would like to thank for all the resources and contributions they have provided to tonight's episode. The link should appear in the Twitch chat or in the details below if you're catching up on our YouTube.
Our virtual tabletop tonight is the incredible Roll20, featuring their dynamic lighting feature and inbuilt character sheets. Go check them out at roll20.net. Our virtual dice are rolled this evening courtesy of 3D Dice, using a recreation of the official Vaesen dice by Handa. In addition, our battle maps were created using Dungeon Fog and all the amazing assets there.
Our character art was created by the extremely talented Shusha, who you should go check out on Instagram at ShushaUK. That's ZSUZSAUK. Our game tokens and dice roller tokens come from the Vaesen RPG rulebook by Free League and from the artist Johan Egerkrans.
The music and ambient sound throughout the stream come from Tabletop Audio and Kevin McLeod and Incop Tech, all provided via the Roll20 jukebox. You can check both these amazing artists out via their website at tabletopaudio.com and incomptech.com.
Your fancy radio voice, it kills me every time. Every time. Want to get your hands on some awesome society merch? Then head on over to the merch store at streamlabs.com/the society livestream /merch, where you can find everything from our gator artwork to nightcaps and spooky shit. Hey! On the subject of our incredible character artwork created by the exceptionally talented Shusha, do keep your art. This is some of the other amazing artwork created by the artist that you can find over at her from her Instagram and over on her Etsy store. But I was going to say, keep your eyes peeled, for we have some new character art this evening, everyone. That's right, some new character art. Ooh. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. We're going to hit that intro and then we'll be ready to go. And we are back from our intro. Okay, we are ready to carry on with our chapter 8. So, as a recap, our brave souls have received an invitation to ride the maiden voyage of the SS Kristianiafjord, the brand new and first cruise liner for the new Norwegian America line. They've garnered themselves this invitation because the steel used to build the vessel is none other than Seaton steel. And so Mr. Seaton is a representative and, along with his guests, has boarded the cruise liner bound for the United Kingdom of Great Britain, etc., etc., etc. And it is a round journey. They have just finished listening to the speech from Captain Odney Nilsson, who has now returned to the bridge to begin the process of piloting the ship out of Bergen docks. While hobnobbing with the other guests, however, the Colonel has a strange turn, a flashback, a vision, a hallucination, completely unrelated. Did I say the Colonel? I said the Colonel.
You did, yeah.
Mr. Seaton! Look, chat and viewers. It has been over a year that I have been saying the Colonel. You will have to forgive me. Mr. Seaton has had a hallucination, a vision, a flashback, but not of his life. Not of a life that he can remember. But it is on a ship in terrible peril. And as this vision comes to an end, we return now to the lounge. Yeah, let's call it the lounge room, where all the guests are hobnobbing, ready for the departure. Colonel, you're not
Who?
called the Colonel. Sweet lords, all of the gods be with me today. Mr. Seaton, the vision fades, and you return to this very glamorous lounge filled with quiet, polite conversation, and you find yourself looking at the face of Pertlu, a reporter that you know quite well. She is looking at you with a fairly worried expression.
I will straighten myself up. Sorry about that. Just a quick. It's been a long time since I've been out at sea. A little bit nervous to get back out on the ocean. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to be concerned about.
You do look a bit pale, to be honest.
I agree. You do look a little pale.
May I let you in on a little secret?
A little secret that I should write down or not?
It may humanize me a bit too much, but one of the reasons why I didn't join any of the army or East India Company was I get a bit seasick.
Me too.
And
This funny old lady on the dock, she suggested to me ginger tea, and so far it's working.
you said that, but I will get straight on that when I have another turn.
I heard gin works too.
It has to be the proper gin, proper good gin.
Well,
Keep
I'm
talking.
sure that you'll find proper good gin aboard this vessel. The bar, I noticed, looked particularly good. I'm hoping that the other guests aboard the vessel also think so. The juiciest stories always come up when there's exceptional alcohol involved.
Not to mention some of the better business deals.
Well, absolutely. You must excuse me. I can see Mr. Laird and Miss Camel having a conversation, and I quite like to know what's being said. We will catch up for a drink later.
Of course.
Well, I look forward to it, but for now, back to business. And she gives you, like, a little, not a bow and not a curtsy, it's something in between. And she gives you a little wink before she leaves the group and heads off over to hobnob with the... If we remember, so there are two Mr. Lairds, they are they're twins, and there is a Miss Camel, and it is Camel Laird that built the vessel. They're the shipbuilder. Then there is standing near them the top hat and the rather fancy looking lady. That is Shettle Moreland, who is the CEO of Norwegian. And there is Scarlett Pierce, who is the CEO of American Cruise Lines. So they're both the CEO of the two kind of halves of this new business. And they're all kind of talking together.
Just kind of continue collect myself for just a moment, and then turn to the rest of Dagmar, what did you find out from the lady over there?
Something's off with that lady. I could swear she could almost read my mind. There is something about her.
And you should say that she has been employed as a fortune teller of sorts to predict the future.
Well, she knew things about my time on this boat that she should not know, so that does track. But I don't trust her.
She sounds fascinating.
By fascinating, you mean creepy?
I mean, there's lots of tricks, but I've never heard of actually telling the future. Like, not for real.
I've always found them to be a little bit more charlatan-based, quite often. It's hard to find one that actually truly means it.
But how can a fortune teller know the past? She knew things I'd done on this boat, and there was no way she could have possibly known that.
Interesting. Business-wise, it's very useful to be able to blackmail someone.
So don't do anything embarrassing on this boat, right? Okay, got it. I should be fine amongst all these upper-class hobnobbers.
Talking of upper-class hobnobbers, I need to work out who I'm going to speak to first. Just kind of scan the room. Does there seem to be a opening in a conversation for someone to join?
I mean, you could ingratiate yourself into the conversation happening in the corner with no problems whatsoever. In the corner where all the business people are, the conversation is... it has gone from little groups to a big conversation. It's now sort of flipped back to little groups again. I mean, you could easily make the, you could step in and speak to Morland and Pierce. You could, like, easily just ingress yourself into the conversation. The other guests here, the two young people sitting over here, these are the Russian ballet dancers. And then the rather burly-looking man is Wenzel Lundmark, who you know is a well-known Swedish sportsman.
Does he put his top back on?
He has now, yes.
We just don't know what sport because we're not into sports in that way.
Yeah, you haven't worked that bit out yet.
Is there anyone in the room who apart from Dagmar, who looks uncomfortable and would appears that they would rather be somewhere else?
Ooh, good question. Give me an observation roll. First roll of the evening, and it's with a hinder. Nice. Thanks, Jack.
Fuck. -1, yeah?
Yep, minus
Yep.
1. And don't worry too much about the funny bright red writing in the character sheet. There's obviously been got 2 successes! These observation rolls of yours. But yes, don't worry about the funny red text. Roll20 have had a little update, and some of the labels in the character sheet are asking for things that have been renamed, maybe? That's normally what happens here. It should all still work if it doesn't shout. Okay, 2 successes. Alright. So, interestingly, the people who seem most uncomfortable in the situation is Wenzel. So Wenzel looks... Wenzel and the 2 Russian ballet dancers, they look uncomfortable because they don't seem to know anyone else. This is obviously part of the publicity stunt to get some kind of well-known and famous people who have been in the media recently to come on the ship to get it some exposure. They are looking a little uncomfortable because they just don't seem to know anyone. Wenzel makes it look quite comfortable though. Like, he is sat on the sofas. He's got his arm on one. He looks like he's got a crystal tumbler of, it looks like it might be scotch or something like that. And he's just relaxing and clearly enjoying the comfort. The Russian ballet dancers have got each other to talk to, but they're talking to each other in Russian. So that is also an interesting thing to observe, because that makes them very insular. It's sort of those 2 sitting by themselves, talking quietly in a different language. It gives you the feeling that they're a bit uncomfortable, and if they're not uncomfortable, they're gossiping about the room.
And what about the large cluster of people to the left?
The large cluster of people to the left. This is a pantomime. Everything that is happening over there in the corner is scripted in some way. Every movement, every action, every word that's being said, every laugh, it's all choreographed to...
So it's top tier hobnobbing.
It is top tier hobnobbing.
It's when you make the assumption that you realise that Seaton is literally just walking over and joining it.
I will follow Seaton.
And the fortune teller and the creepy twins, they don't look uncomfortable?
No. They look like they're having the time of their lives. If you didn't know better, the only thing they're missing is popcorn while they just watch the show with quite some intensity.
Dagmar's going to grab a second glass of champagne and go sit over here.
Sorry, he says, is there any other waiting staff up here?
Let's say yes. Give me a moment.
That's what
While I
I'm away anyway.
rifle through my... Where are you? Where are you? I need generic barman token 1. Aha! Generic barman oh. He is...
Oh, he's a big fella.
He is much larger than is necessary. There you go. Generic waiting staff.
Just before I leave, I'd like to walk over to her and just kind of go, a ginger tea, please, if you wouldn't mind.
He nods and scuttles down the stairs.
And then I'll join this group.
All right. As you approach, the conversation between Morland and Pierce quietens down as they see you arrive. Morland turns to look at you. Right, Morland. Looking at Shettle Morland, one would think that he was a rotund man. But that is not the case. He, underneath his incredibly expensive suit, is a mountain of a man. He is all muscle in that suit. But it's that kind of, that power lifter muscle that gives you that, it gives you an interesting shape. So it gives you that, you just broaden in like all directions. So from the outside, it can look like you're quite rotund, but when you, but it's quite the opposite in reality. He's quite tall. He has mutton chops. And he turns and he smiles at you. And he says, "Ah, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. How is your father?"
He is well. Sadly, his increasing age has kept him away from here, so I am here in his stead. And how have you been, Morland? It's been a long time.
Well, as you can see, it's quite good. Have you met Miss Pierce before?
I haven't had the chance.
Oh, then do let me introduce you. Mr. Seaton, allow me to introduce you to Miss Pierce, the CEO of American Cruise Lines. Miss Pierce, this is Mr. Seaton Jr. His family have provided the steel for the ship, as well you know. His father runs the business, but Mr. Seaton has come in his stead as Mr. Seaton, the older, is getting on in some years, isn't he? And he looks at you.
He is now, yes. At this point...
Miss Pierce says, "Well, it's a pleasure to meet you," in a weird accent. She speaks Swedish, but she's very clearly American. Like, you can hear that American twang as she is speaking. And it's really weird to think that there would be an American accent in Swedish. Do you know what I mean? I always think it's really interesting when other people speak other languages and it's like, well, they'd have an accent too that would let you guess that they were from the States. Well, there you go.
It's an absolute pleasure, Miss Pearson. Tell me, so how did you get involved and how did you find out about this?
Oh, you mean how did we come to partner?
That's correct, yes.
Well, you see, my family have been using transatlantic shipping lanes for some time now. And I've seen a gap in the market. Tourism to the States. Having travelled between the States and Europe myself several times, I've come to realise that there is a gap in the market when it comes to luxury travel. And it seemed only sensible to have a European partner to set up that luxury travel. And so, who else would I reach out to than Moorland Shipping? And so, through some conversations, a great deal of bargaining, and some rather canny contract writing, we set up Norwegian American Cruise Lines. And immediately ordered the SS Kristianiafjord.
You always have to be crafty with Moorland, don't you? With your contracts. And I just give Moorland a slight wink as I say that, leaning over him.
She goes to say something and he says, "You think I'm crafty? If I could only show you the contract waltz that I had to do with Miss Pierce over here." Shrewd businesswoman. That's how I knew the partnership would be successful.
Fascinating. It's a shame we didn't get to... Did you have to deal with my father at all, Miss Pearson? Or did you have another representative deal with him?
Actually, Moorland and I managed to meet with your father to negotiate the deal. You see, this is only the first ship in a fleet of cruise lines that we intend to set up, so we needed to have a contract for not only the purchase of the steel for this vessel, but an ongoing contract for supply for our fleet. And of course, we just had to do that in person.
Of course. You can't do that any other way. I'm guessing my father hasn't told me any of this. There's been no correspondence with this. No. Typical.
No. None whatsoever.
Amazing. And do you have an idea of how long the contracts are for? Are we waiting for completion on this journey, the maiden voyage, or has the contract already been put through?
Oh, the contract is signed. It's in place. We have contracted the steel for 5 vessels to start off with, and then we have added in some terms to allow us to renegotiate when we decide on our 6th and 7th vessels. It only seemed sensible to and then Moorland steps in. She's clearly trying to think how to put it very politely. But Moorland weighs all the way in and he goes, "To avoid being screwed by your old man."
He is particularly good at doing that.
Yes, as I well know.
Yes, the business between us has been going for quite some time now, Moorland.
Yes, and I don't think that I have forgotten the cost of that 3rd steel ship.
Do I remember that?
Yes, it was a fortune. Your father absolutely stiffed Morland. And then he says, but, well, what can I say? Thanks to you. Thanks to you, Barty.
Thanks to me?
Oh, yes. That conversation that we had in Stockholm, if you remember, where you were commenting on the cost of the third ship.
Yes, I believe I remembered a conversation. I apologize. I can't remember the finer details of what I said.
Well, you told me after a few drinks that your father was screwing me over with the price and that you'd renegotiate for us, which you did very well. I seemingly remember we made sure that you had a percentage of the contractual profit.
Yes, I remember that very well now.
It was a very crafty piece of business work.
I've quickly helped me fund my exhibitions up here.
Yes, I had heard that you were doing some... This is where the DM decides to pick a word and then panics that I can't say it, and then now can't because I've thought about how you're supposed to say it. Philanthropic. There you go. I had heard you were doing some philanthropic activities in the north.
Indeed.
That was a lot for a Sunday evening.
Submit your word entries for next week for what words can Luke say?
I mean, I think there should be points. We should send Luke little things that he has to try and say in the stream.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's too much. It's too much. That would be really fun though. I'm just gonna say that would be really entertaining to get a little list of buzzwords to try and drop into each chapter. Well, each session. Be ridiculous but entertaining.
Question.
Yes.
While all the hobnobbing is going on, I
Yes.
just place myself between these two separate social scenarios, both of which are slightly uncomfortable. I'd like to know who appears to be the most perturbed by my sudden appearance next to them.
It's definitely the ballet dancer.
The two to my right.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know them. I wouldn't know them as ballet dancers, would I?
Yes, because as you were boarding, well, it depends actually. As
Like,
you were boarding
prior
the ship,
to the ship.
Oh no, not prior.
Okay.
Unless Dagmar has a penchant for ballet that I am unaware of.
No.
If it's not hard liquor and gambling.
Not much ballet in places where you frequent the poker tables.
Signy, as she hasn't been introduced in the conversation, has literally got bored. Is kind of twirling with an empty crystal glass from her bag and has like turned her back on them and is just like looking around the room. Slightly annoyed.
Sorry.
She was waiting for a good moment to do her best posh laugh, but turns out you guys are really boring.
The waiter appears with your ginger tea.
Amazing. I'll take all of and I'll try and catch I've forgotten her name already. News reporter.
Pertly.
Thank you. I'm just trying to catch her eye and then hold the teacup up to her.
She does this. She's got her notebook and her pen, and as you do that, she goes. She does that nod, and she points at you at the end of the pen. And then she goes back to asking Mr. Laird questions, and he seems a little miffed at being interrupted by the reporter, but he is carrying on with the pantomime.
As I've now got my tea and I've been distracted, I'll then remember at this point that Sydney is with me.
Well, I fully imagine Miss Pierce will get there first.
Fair enough.
And we'll be like, Mr. Seaton, you haven't introduced me to your friend, colleague. She does the thing where she uses a word and then you see her think and then use a second word where she's unsure which one of these words is the correct word.
I am honoured to say both are correct. She's both friend and colleague. Yes, this is Signy. She helps me with understanding people better, shall we say.
At hearing my name, I'll turn around and be like,
Yes. Signy, this is Miss Pearson and Mr. Morland.
Miss Pierce!
Miss Pierce! Miss Pierce!
I'll correct him. I'll be like,
I
think she said her name was Miss Pierce.
The whole time she's been too polite to correct you.
I do it
That's
instead.
a Jack error. That's not a... Seaton would not get that wrong.
It's alright, I forgive you, Jack.
Thank you.
But we have noted that you're not necessarily paying too much attention.
What? I have notes.
I'll put on my poshest voice. It's a pleasure to meet you both.
This is me being an evil GM and trying to decide whether or not Miss Pierce can understand your accent. I have concluded that she can. I'm not. She can. I'm not going to be that mean. Two things happen at once. Number one, Miss Pierce is like, yes, absolutely a pleasure, and what a fine vessel and what lovely surroundings for our meeting. While she says that, Mr. Morland looks right at you, Mr. Seaton, and gives you that hideously uncomfortable, wink wink, nudge nudge, you know exactly the look where he is full on being like, good on you, good catch. That's what he's saying with his wink wink nudge nudge. Good catch. I'll see you. I'll see you with your dolly bird.
Seaton is going to understand the look and completely blow it off. And be more along the lines of...
Oh my god, that's just made it so much worse.
Signy's not helping this because she's going, oh, it's so lovely of Barty to show me his ship and take me on these adventures with him.
Miss Pierce, right? Mr. Seaton, you now have a war on two fronts playing out here because Shettle is now being like, good on you, my son. Good on you, my son. Miss Pierce is now trying to see whether Signy is like a weak link. she does the thing where she steps forward and she like slots her arm through yours, Signy, like, and as she does that, she goes, "It's always lovely to have other women on business ventures, don't you think? And I must say, your ensemble is on point. You look excellent."
Thank you. It's new.
"Oh, so is this." And she sort of motions to her outfit as well, which
Oh, it's stunning.
she says, "Oh, thank you. It took me an age to decide what colour to go with, and in the end I decided red." It's
A very
colour of
brave
power,
colour.
don't you think? Yes, bravery, power. Us women have to show. We have to show the menfolk how it's done. Let them know that they're not top of the tree.
I do my best, like, posh laugh.
While this absolute car crash is occurring, Dagmar, for a small, you hear this really fancy, like, put on posh laugh, and you look up and it's just like, but what are you doing over here with the seeming outsiders?
So, upon hearing the dodgy ha 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 ha, Dagmar knocks back what's left of that first champagne flue and places the glass on the floor with a exacerbated "for fuck's sake." Takes a small sip from the second and turns to the very large gentleman to their left.
Wenzel leans over and is like, "Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one." And knocks back his whatever he's drinking, and puts his glass on the floor as well. And then he does the thing where he puts his hand up and sort of beckons to the waiter who's standing by the stairs.
Finally, someone with a degree of sense. I was beginning to worry because observing that absolute calamity of a social over there, this is not my usual kind of endeavour.
Mine neither. I must admit it's entertaining to look at the snobs.
It's one word for it.
Ah, waiter. Another one of your best scotch, and I'm sorry.
Scotch, you say? What scotch is it?
I don't know. I just say the best.
It sounds great. I'll have one of those as well.
2 of your best scotch. Actually, make it 4. That way I won't need to order again.
This trip just got a lot more comfortable.
And the waiter nods and heads off. And he turns and he says, "Now that we've got drinks out of the way, we should probably introduce one another."
Sure. So, Dagmar's gonna place the champagne on the floor because the better stuff is coming. And go, "My name's Dagmar Eriksson. I was invited as a guest of one of the
Snobs.
let's use your word, but still a friend of mine, Mr. Seaton over there." what brings you to this boat?
Well, I don't really know. I had an invitation and it sounded like there'd be good booze, so I said yes. Plus, it's nice to have a rest. I've been doing, well, after securing the gold medal, I think I have deserved a bit of a sit down.
I'll always endorse a bit of a sit. You received an invite here. Who did you get the invite from?
More from one of the snobs. I think it was Norwegian American Cruise Lines. I'm assuming they're after some publicity. I have been in the news recently from the competitions, so I'm sure they're trying to step on my coattails. Is that the phrase?
Yeah.
Sounds...
That sounds
you
about
know
right.
what
We'll
I
go with
mean.
it.
You know what I mean.
That would make sense with this kind of, and I learnt this phrase today, hobnobbing.
Sounds rude.
Have you ever met any of these people before?
I know the reporter.
Hardly surprising, someone in the spotlight.
And that's and I'm familiar with the Russian ballet. Although I've never met them, I have seen them on stage. It seems a little odd to... I can't bear it when people fawn over you. I can't bear it. I just throw things for a living. I don't need people fawning over me. I imagine they feel very much the same. It gets tiresome.
I think Dagmar's going to use that as an opportunity to turn and try to address the ballet dancers.
I'm just caveating right now, everybody, I cannot do a Russian accent, so it's not happening. Just toss that out there. I tell stories, I'm not very good at accents. There you go. That's my dark secret as a GM, is that I'm not very good at accents.
What's the bodybuilder called again? Remind me.
Wenzel and Mark.
Wenzel. Yeah, Dagmar's just going to take the opportunity to turn to the two ballet dancers, just to say, I hope you're both okay here. Wenzel and I were just discussing how awkward it is to be amongst these type of people.
The male ballet dancer turns to look at you, and then the female one does this really graceful, like, delicate lean out so that she can look at you as well. They look a little comical, the way that he's sort of turned and then she's sort of gone out to the side so that she... and he says, yes, actually, it is a little awkward when you don't really know anybody, nor what anyone is here for. But we came to the conclusion that we would just sit and wait for someone to say hello.
Well, happy to break that ice. I feel very awkward here. I was brought just as a guest by my colleague. I'm Dagmar, by the way, and this is Venzen.
I am Kovalenko, and this is Pashina. And the female ballet dancer says, it's a pleasure to meet you.
And were you both invited here completely out of the blue? Or are there people here that you know that have introduced you to this ridiculous boat?
No, we were invited out of the blue. We had our invitation extended by Norwegian American Cruise Lines. Well, and while we're in between shows, well, we just thought we'd take the opportunity to, well, sit down and enjoy the luxury ship.
Have any of this cluster in the corner over there, the ones that are currently pretending to laugh at each other's jokes, have any of them come over and said hello?
Kovalenko says, well, there was a rather awkward posing for photos when we arrived. And Wenzel, who is about as subtle as a cattle prod, is like, yep, I had some awkward photo moments too. It's quite loud.
I did see you earlier, Wenzel. To be fair, you did have your top off in front of that journalist.
Oh, that wasn't the awkward photo moments. That was socializing.
You hesitated. Maybe you've known each other a bit longer?
She is the only person on the boat that I do know, and, well...
Well, who am I to judge?
Oh, well, what can I say? When you've got a body like mine, it's enjoyable to parade it about.
And I'm sure to many, enjoyable to watch.
Well, that's the hope. Like I said, all I do is throw things, so this is a happy side effect.
Hmm. That was gone blank.
And Wenzel's gonna lean over and then I'm imagining both of you feel the same. You must be killer under there. Parshina blushes. Parshina blushes. This is a little much for a rather fabulous Russian ballet dancer. Kovalenko, on the other hand, is like, well, my husband certainly enjoys the show. And we return to the very awkward social gathering as another very posh laugh erupts out of Signy, who has taken to her new role like a duck to water.
Have I given out nicknames yet?
I don't know, have you?
Probably.
Oh god!
Have I got first names?
So Miss Pierce, her name is Scarlet. So I imagine Signy definitely would have made a comment about someone being called Scarlet
I'm wearing a red,
bright red dress.
Yep.
And Mr. Morland's name is Shettle.
I will have made some dodgy joke about it being like a pony, but that would be about it.
Everyone laughed at your very awkward joke, even
Of course.
Mr. Seaton.
Very awkwardly, but eyes to signaling to calm down.
As you're like, it's a trap. Like I fully imagine you're like, it's a trap. Because Signy's clueless to the fact that she's literally at the moment being groomed by Miss Pierce to give all kinds of business secrets about you.
The thing is,
Shettle, on the other hand, as you're like, he is going to full on elbow you, and he's going he's going for it. He's just going for it, and he's like, well, if I'd known what philanthropic activities actually was, Barty, I'd have taken some time off myself years ago.
I feel you might have profited from it very much.
Well, you certainly have.
She has been a treasure, a true find with my business.
Wink, elbow.
And the next part I would say with my business endeavors, I will say to and make sure that Miss Pierce can hear me say that. She's been, and I'll lean over just loud enough for her to hear. I have involved her in most of my businesses of late. The information inside her head is a wealth of knowledge.
Give me an observation check. You have a help.
Wow. Okay.
Excellent.
New character.
Excellent.
Same roles.
Wow.
Because it's a you problem.
Wow. That was 9 dice. 9.
Come on, be more Dagmar.
Wow. Alright, well,
Be more Dagmar. Like.
you notice.
Fuck all.
Fuck all. There's a little bit of a laugh, and Miss Pierce turns to Signy and says, well, I do hope he is paying you well.
Well, we're yet to discuss the terms of my payment, but
Really?
I'll make sure of it.
Mr. Seaton.
Yes,
Maybe
Miss
you could
Pierce.
help me with a contract.
Oh, I would be more than happy to extend you a contract.
Signy, I thought we were better friends than that, rather than trying to stiff me over with one of Miss Pearson's contracts. We've already heard how strong-willed she is.
It's Pierce.
That's too funny. While the conversation has been going on, there's been a blare of the ship's horn, and the ship has begun to move out of dock. The lounge is almost entirely windows, so you've got this beautiful view of Bergen Harbour going past as you head out of the harbour walls and out to sea. The waiter reappears with 4 glasses of the best scotch and hands them to you. And he moves back to the stairs, where he turns around, and he was holding a silver tray, And he turns around, he puts the silver tray underneath his arm, and underneath, he now has got hold of a little gong, and he goes, dong! And it makes like a fairly pleasant noise ring out through the lounge, and there's a little bit of hush that follows that as everyone looks towards him. And he says, as we are leaving the port, the casino will be opening shortly. Might I remind all of you as well that we have a social dance in the ballroom this evening after your 5-course dinner. If you need anything, please do reach out to a member of the staff. Enjoy the maiden voyage of the SS Kristianiafjord. And he does a little bow, and then he goes back to his little post in the corner.
Dagmar's going to immediately just, not really turning, just slightly leaning the head to the left, and just say, "Do you gamble, Wenzel?"
I could be persuaded.
I don't know about you, but I have an overwhelming urge to legitimately steal some of these people's money.
That sounds like fun. Shall we?
I say once we finished one of these, why don't we head through and see what this casino cart has to offer? Hopefully, there'll be some cards.
Deal. The Madam Hilding and her entourage get up, form their funny little line, and then head towards the stairs before they all head down them and disappear to the lower deck.
Agma's going to turn to the ballet dancers and just say, just to warn you, watch out for that one. She's dangerous.
What do you mean by dangerous?
Just be careful with her.
Okay. Harshina then says, Covey, maybe we should go and do a little... and then she switches into Russian. And he nods and turns and says, if you will excuse us, we have a few preparations that we need to make for this evening.
Of course.
And the pair of them get up. They go to walk, they stop, they turn back round, and they both do a little bow, and they go, a pleasure to meet you. And then...
Both of you, please. No bowing, though. You don't need to bow to me.
Now they look even a little bit more awkward, and then they just sort of smile and like do an awkward little wave as they head off.
Does Dagmar know any Russian?
I don't know. Does Dagmar know any Russian?
I'm wondering if Dagmar might know like the basics, like hello and goodbye.
Hello and goodbye.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and then just say goodbye in Russian.
Yes, absolutely. You crack out a little goodbye in Russian. They both stop. They both look. They smile at you. There's like a little concern, and then they both smile, and then they say goodbye back to you in Russian, which I think is Dos Vidania, but That's me trying to rifle through the depths of my memory. And then they head off. Mr. Seaton and Signy, you probably will have noticed that a few people have started to leave. The reporter excuses herself, and she sits herself down on one of the seats, and one of the twins approaches your group. Ah, Barty. Good to see you. How's your father?
He's good. Thank you very much. Do I know which brother this is?
Ooh, I'm gonna make you roll for it.
Don't make him roll.
I'm doing it! It's happening!
Are they identical twins?
Give me, it's gonna be... Ooh, would it be vigilance or observation? I'm gonna go with observation because it's like voice and mannerisms and like trying to look for the tiny details.
I've got a hinder or a help.
You have a help?
I've help!
Hey.
Crapped on leaf.
Yes.
Hey! Alrighty. It's almost entirely hinders from now on, just warning you all. This is Horatio.
So Horatio. And how have you been keeping Horatio?
Ah, yes, we've been good. Business is booming.
As I can see.
Yes, it has been a pleasure of ours to be able to explore luxury cruise ships again. That's thanks to Norwegian American Cruise Lines, of course, and he kind of nods to each of them as he says their respective nations. Miss Pierce says, "Oh, it is our absolute pleasure. Camel Laird is, after all, Britain's best shipwright." Ah, yes, it is. Thank you for saying. You always did have exceptional acumen for substance, style.
And how has your brother been keeping? I haven't been able to catch up with him just yet.
Oh, Percy. Yes, he's fine.
And Amelia?
Amelia is as Amelia as ever.
So doing well then.
Unfortunately, yes.
When he says that, how is the reaction to everyone else around me?
Everyone's just like, everyone just sort of goes, oh, ha ha ha, like this is a pantomime. You know that Percival and Horatio Laird have been trying to basically buy Amelia out like forever, but she is wildly better at business than they are. If anything, she'll buy them out.
I remember you saying last time. I'm
gonna have to write an apology email to like Camel Laird, you know? This is what happens when you take when you take historically accurate information and weave it into your fantasy world. By the way, this is a fantasy, everybody, so any names or anything like that is entirely unrelated to reality.
This does not depict. What's that message they put at the end?
Yeah, exactly that.
Do I have any knowledge of their last venture with cruise ships and what happened?
Ooh. Yeah. They are for certain probably one of the best shipwrights in Britain. The Setons are definitely transporting their steel in camel-lured ships.
And how the trade route's been currently for our ships getting through at the moment?
Are you asking Horatio?
I am, yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't want your interests in your cruise ships to distract you.
Oh, don't worry. Your shipping vessels, we will continue to provide. They are our bread and butter. Cruise liners are an exciting side venture. We don't do them very often because they're very expensive. Only certain exceptional business executives have the funds for such a ship like this. And Miss Pierce, if you haven't realised already, Horatio is just a little ferry worm thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just needs a smack.
Huh?
It's just like a snivelly. It just honestly needs a smack. Miss Pierce, it's like, oh, Horatio, stop it. We're in public. This is how she gets discounts. She knows what she's doing. She's a powerful businesswoman who knows how to use her ladiness. And it clearly works because Horatio, like, yeah, he falls for it. Hook, line, sinker, frying pan.
Signy's like watching Miss Pierce, like learning so much right now.
Oh my god, I'm creating a monster through my own NPCs.
But she also pulls a little bit of a disgusted face when they're like, until she realises that it's all just a game.
Yes, well, don't let me bother you don't let me bother you much further. They're going to be opening the casino shortly, and well, I do like a drink and some cards. So please do excuse me. Enjoy the facilities. They are the best in the world.
I'll just nod my head.
Dagmar's like, because you're in quite close proximity, so Dagmar can hear this conversation. Dagmar's just going to give a very gentle nudge to Wenzel and just go, let's go, but first, excuse me just 1 second.
Marked.
Just approach the group. Hello everybody, Barty dear. Hello, this boat is glorious and I just heard the call of a casino car. I've never been to a casino before and I would love to try and learn that game involving the little picture cards. Me and that lovely large gentleman over there are going to go and frequent and find it. So I hope to meet all of you later, but thank you for bringing us here.
Signy is giggling like a schoolchild.
Give me a manipulation roll. If you smash this out of the park, it'll be glorious. You do have
I've got a hinder.
I know, right?
Come on, Dagmar. Fuck yeah!
Hell yeah!
Fucks.
Smashed so far out of the park. It's too good. It's too good.
Dagmar's a sly little shit.
Everyone believes you, like verbatim. Horatio 100% is gonna fall for it, hook, line, sinker, beer batter, and be like, oh, if you're interested in the casino and learning how to play the game, I'd be more than happy to lend my experience and expertise.
Would
Question
you?
is,
That would be so very kind. Thank you.
do I know that Dagmar's doing a bit?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Only because. Only because you know Dagmar.
I mean, you did find Dagmar asleep in a hungover stupor under a table.
That's fine. No, that's all right. I'll just kind of lean over to Dagmar and go, it is to be said, to be fair, there is no better teacher. He will teach you well.
I think this
Well-
is one of those moments you're supposed to laugh, and I go, and no one else is laughing.
Well, I am excited. So very excited. Dagmar's gonna do a little sort of slow turn, so to look at Vensel, give a little wink, and then start to make their way towards. Is this a member of staff by the staircase? It's the waiting guy, isn't it? I say, good man, could you please point me in the direction of the casino-y thing? You're muted, GM.
Yes, of course. If you head down these stairs and find yourself in the restaurant, there are doors. Oh, one moment while I describe how you get there. It would be helpful if I was looking.
We need continuity, GM.
If you head down those stairs, you'll find yourself in the restaurant. On the far sides, you'll find 2 doors. You can use either. Head straight through them, and it will be the. It's a lie. It's a lie. Ignore me. Head down to the restaurant. You'll find a door on the right-hand side. Head down that. It's second door on the left.
Thank you so much. Gosh, I'm excited. And then Dagmar's going to skip off down the stairs with scotch in hand.
Horatio is going to be like, wow. I had best go. I have a large amount of money I'm about to win. Ha 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 ha.
You take it easy on them. It is their first time playing, remember?
Yes, of course. I'll be nice. He's lying. I'm not even going to roll for it. And he heads off down the stairs as well, followed by Wenzel Lundmark, who also heads down the stairs. I don't remember what's on the stairs. This is chaos. What are you gonna do, Mr. Seaton and Sigrid?
Seaton was actually going to head outside now that the ship was moving, just to see the ocean and just experience the ship moving. I'm going to turn to people from us and just be like, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to take a venture outside and get some fresh sea air. There's no point being cooped up in here all voyage.
Of course. Please, enjoy Enjoy your time.
And I will nod to both of them and ask for Signy to take my hand, and then slot my arm through hers, and guide her away from Scarlet as much as possible.
As you leave, Shettle and Scarlet sit themselves down and call over the waiter. Which one of the... Where are you going? Out the left or the right? And are you going to the back of the ship or the front of the ship?
Go to the front of the ship.
Okie dokie. In that case then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab with you right now. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Et voila. And then I'm going to plonk you all down there. Alrighty. Okay, so everybody has been distributed. Okay. We're going to go straight to the casino. Aha! Here we are. In the casino. The casino is a fairly decent sized room. It's very opulently furnished. There is poker, blackjack, and roulette.
Dagmar's just going to have to maintain character now. So Dagmar's going to let out a little sound of glee of, wow, look at all these pretty tables and pretty games. They all look like so much fun. Dear friend, hello, by the way, my name is Dagmar. We've not been introduced.
My name is Horatio.
Horatio, what a beautiful name. Which one of these pretty tables and games would you recommend?
Definitely this one over here. The game is called poker, and I think it is possibly my favorite.
Oh, what fun!
Will you be joining us too, Mr. Lundmark? Yes, if you don't mind. He's... Wenzel is like... yeah, sure, like... he's that one friend who suddenly has found themselves in the middle of... Ocean's 11 at this point. He's now a part of the Great Escape, the Great Heist, the train robbery, and he's not prepared for it.
Oh, come along, Mr. Wenzel. This will be such jolly fun.
Yes, take a seat at the table.
In fact, Dagmar's going to sit directly opposite, so they can get a proper read on this Horatio.
Okay, so the croupier like shuffles the cards expertly, deals out the cards, says a whole host of words.
Word. Poker.
Yeah, poker, blind, double blind, blind, cards, hold them, stick them up, 3 times 5, whatever, blah blah blah, all of that shenanigans. And then he dishes the cards out, and Horatio is now going to be like, okay, so this is how we play the game. You want to have in your hand the best cards. Looking at what you have and the cards in the middle. And then we're all going to go around the table and we're gonna bet that we have the best hand at the table. And if you don't think you do, you can fold.
Is that like fold the cards in half?
You just put them down and it means you're out for the round.
Oh, I see. But there's a chance I could get a good card later.
Yes, so you might want to wait and continue betting until you have seen more of your cards.
How exciting.
Oh my god, this is chaos.
So Dagmar's basically going to full on hustle this and play the first few hands really badly, wasting a little bit of their money, like accidentally, with lines like, "I've got a 3, is that good?"
It depends if you have another 3 or not.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. I've only got 1. Right, okay. I'm going to bet one of these and puts a chip over. And it's
I have a question.
50.
I fully imagine that on arrival, when the croupiers asked who you all are, I fully imagine that Dagmar has introduced themselves as a member of the Seaton party.
Yes.
I just thought I'd clarify that it's Mr. Seaton's money that we're gambling.
I already assumed this, not gonna lie.
I just needed to clarify and get it on film.
I should have clarified for the story where I'm getting the money from. But yeah, so Dagmar's going to throw a chip over, and the croupier's probably going to ask, are you sure? Yes, I'm really sure.
Yeah.
Why, is that a lot?
I mean, it could be quite a lot, but then you might win a lot as well.
Ooh.
Horatio is such a worm. You play a couple of rounds of poker, and you do terribly. The illusion is exceptional. Wenzel doesn't do too badly. He has definitely played before, Dagmar, but he's not a professional. He's probably played for fun, a few times, but never taken it very seriously. So Dagmar would probably discover that they could hustle Wenzel as well if they wanted to.
So Dagmar has so much experience of drunken gambling and manipulation and lying and hustling that Dagmar's basically, after the first few hands of playing terribly, the intention is to switch it up to then start playing very well while appearing exceptionally lucky, but also occasionally orchestrating it so that Wenzel wins quite big too.
Oh, I love this. Okay, yeah, absolutely, 100% fully support this nonsense. Okay, I am going to get you to do, we're going to do a roll, everyone.
Roll.
I'm very excited. Okay, hang on, I just need to, I've now got all the character sheets open. I am looking for... Okay, so you are going up against Horatio. So it's going to be a contested roll. So he's going to roll, and you're going to roll the same. And the person who has the most successes is going to win, the kind of the big game. So you lose a few, then suddenly you start to win a little bit, but it just looks like a fluke. Do you know what I mean? You fully do things where you think you've won because you have a pair, and then the croupier is 3 of a kind because there's a third one on the tape. All of those, it just looks like it's just a complete fluke the whole time.
Very annoying for anyone who enjoys the game poker.
Okay. The exciting thing is, we are about to try something new, and I don't know if it's going to work. There might now be a technical disaster.
Let's break it.
Who knows? Let's try, shall we? Chat! Viewers! This is your opportunity to get involved in the game. I'm going to add up how many dice there are, and then I'm going to open up the chance to win the opportunity to roll the dice.
Ooh.
So one person in chat is going to be able to roll the dice on my behalf. So let's see, shall we? Here we go. I'm going to try. Here we go. Right. How many dice is this person going to roll? It is going to be quite a lot of dice because he is a gambler. Now, I have to try and remember how to do this. Roll. Jeez. Roll. Oh, I have my caps lock on. This feels dangerous.
We've also lost the video feed of everybody.
Oh. There you go. Fixed. All right, here we go. I'm hitting the thing. Does it work? Aha! If you would like to be in the chance to roll the dice, then please write !join in the chat. You've got 15 seconds. Seven seconds! !join if you would like to roll the dice. Oh, the shade. Love this.
Yay!
This is so good. Okay, if you now go into your Twitch rewards, you should find one called 66 and redeem that for us.
What's that?
It should be in the, you know, when you can click and you can get like help or hinder.
Oh yeah.
Redeem that for us.
I did it.
Okay, here we go. Hey! The dice actually rolled! Oh my god.
That's so clever.
Wow.
That's so clever.
This has been the most stressful thing in the universe.
Are we all ready for me to lose against myself?
Oh, dearie me. I was so excited, I didn't even see what the dice were. Anyway, roll away.
What am I rolling?
You're rolling your manipulation. I didn't there were no sixes, so no successes, so you need a success to win. Thanks, Joey. Thanks goodness one of the moderators is paying attention.
Thanks, Joey.
It's not me right now. Oh! Jesus. Wow. Okay. Holy moly. Well, I guess it's very clear who the winner is. Before we go ahead, I just want to do a shout out to Celeste Bloodrain at 3D Dice, who came to my rescue when I was completely hysterical and beside myself that I couldn't get the dice to work. And they came in and saved my life with some crazy computer shenanigans that I didn't understand, but that apparently work. So a huge thank you to Celeste Bloodrain at 3D Dice for saving my bacon. You, Dagmar, absolutely own the table. You absolutely rinse Horatio.
In the business, we call it cleaning up.
Yeah, you absolutely clean this table till it's like sparkling. Wenzel at this point, Wenzel by this point has fully worked out now what's going on, and has fully bought into the con by fully being, you know, wow, you're so lucky, and like fully supporting the con to its max. Horatio has the most sour face you have ever seen. It is like a smacked ass. Oh well, like beginner's luck. I let you win at the request of Mr. Seaton.
Well, either way, it's been so much fun, and you've been such a good sport. I do hope we get to do this again some other day.
Yes, my tuition clearly has paid off with your victories.
You're a very good teacher. Thank you so much, Mr. Horatio.
Oh, well, you are most welcome. Next time, hey,
I would
I will
love
give
that.
you a run for your money.
I'm sure you will.
I must go. I must make sure that the business won't attend to itself.
Well, thank you for such a jolly fun game.
I'm glad that you had fun. Do enjoy yourself some more. And he gets up and he heads over to this door here, and heads through and out of the casino.
Just very quickly, not wanting to break character in front of the staff, Dagmar's going to just ask Wenzel very briefly of like, I say, my scotch is empty. Would you fancy maybe we could go get another drink of some sort?
Yes, I do believe the ballroom's only that way, and there are 2 bars in there.
Oh, jolly good.
He gets up and he heads towards this large double door. I'm just going to open both for the sake of getting through them all. It's this way to the ballroom. There, lovely. And at the bar, we're going to go to the very front of the ship, where Signy and the Colonel are reenacting Titanic.
That's the last thing we want to do.
Barty, I feel like I'm flying.
I'm flying, Barty.
Signy, get down from there. Come.
Signy so would be looking over the edge, though. Ranting about how this is so exciting and...
Well, feel free to move your tokens to an appropriate location.
I am leaning over the edge here.
I'll be with you.
This is so exciting. Your friends are so much fun, but it's exhausting keeping up this accent.
It's also exhausting having to talk to most of those people the majority of the time.
But Scarlet's nice. Horatio is a donut. Don't like him. Oh
He's
yes,
he's
Mom, Horatio. Ugh. Blow your nose.
He is a weasel. It's
Poor
his,
weasels. What did they ever do other than be damn cute?
They are super cute.
the bigger fish in their pond is Amelia, their business partner, who they're not really wanting to talk about. But besides the point, I don't want to bore you with that information. Watch out for Scarlet, though. She is they're lovely, woman, very good at what she does. But what she does is manipulate people.
Don't worry, Barty. I know what they say about a woman who wears red.
What do they say about women who wear red?
I'm sure she would have heard some sort of old folks' tale.
As you stand there enjoying the beautiful scenery and looking over the edge and the salt spray and the sea air and watching the land drifting away as the ship plows through the sea, and it's really beautiful and it's really lovely, and you're having a fabulous time in your new beautiful clothes, and everything is just what you wanted it to be. It's perfect.
Your friend is lying to you.
What?
Your friend is lying to you. He's not who he appears to be.
What, Barty?
You mean the Colonel?
That's his brother.
No, it's not. You're being lied to.
And we're going to take a break there.
Have I hear
Almost
her
forgotten
reply?
about him.
You do hear her. You always hear Signy replying, but you never hear the voice that Signy talks to. But we're going to take a break. It is 10 minutes to. Do we want 15 minutes, everybody?
Yes, please. I need to eat some
15.
dinner.
Would you like 20?
15's fine.
15 minutes. All right, we're going to take a 15-minute break. That means that we will be back at 5 past the hour, where we will continue with hobnobbing, fleecing the rich from their money, and hearing voices that tell you that your friends are lying to you. More to come on the Society. So we're going to have our short rest, and we will see you after the break.
Yeah.
And we are back from our short rest. We have rolled some hit dice and we have had some rations and consumables, and we are ready to carry on with the ridiculous story. So we're going to dive straight back into the battle map with our incredible cast members. And we will rejoin the moment where Signy hears a voice whispering into her ear, telling her that her friend Mr. Seaton is lying to her, that he is in fact the Colonel.
I'm sorry, Signy, did you say something?
Hmm?
Did you say something?
No? Yes, okay. I'm just talking. Do I remember showing... Obviously I showed the Colonel. Well, tried to show.
Yeah, so...
But would that still have happened?
Yes, so everything that has happened, but it's with Mr. Seaton instead of the Colonel. So, like, Mr. Seaton's story has been whitewashed across the Colonel in everyone's memories.
Yep.
Well, obviously not everyone's.
Okay. I'm talking to the thing.
What's it saying? Has it picked up something on the ship?
I mean... He thinks you're a liar.
I don't think I know.
Depends on your definition of a lie. I mean, I'm a businessman. We try and negotiate to a certain degree and pump ourselves up a bit, but I haven't lied to you.
He's lying.
He says he's not lying.
He is.
How do you know?
I know everything.
That's your answer to everything. He thinks you're the Colonel.
That's my
I know.
brother.
I've said that.
Lying.
Well, then who's his brother?
It's just silence.
Oh, you're so annoying.
Yeah, from the extremely unhelpful creature in a box.
She's gonna come and sit here with the box, open it, to try and see him, as if looking at him might make him answer.
Yeah, he's not in there. The box is empty.
Where the...
What's he saying now?
That you're lying, that you're your brother. I don't know who your brother is.
Arthur. Lieutenant Colonel Arthur Seaton.
But apparently that's you.
No. My brother's sadly passed away.
Ask him about the roses.
The roses? As in the roses she still has? Did she get to... Did they disappear when we came back? I can't remember.
Still have them.
Yeah. He says... What about the roses?
And Seaton kind of looked down at his briar rose pin on his lapel. I'm not sure. It was a gift from Vivian. Yes, it was a gift from her.
Well, I don't know. He just says what he says.
It's hard to defend myself against someone I can't hear or see.
He is real.
I don't disbelieve you. I mean, look at the stuff we've had to deal with already.
Why are you trying to ruin this for me?
I'm trying to save our lives.
She's going to sort of whisper in the box as if not move any further away and just be like, what am I supposed to do?
Listen. Can't you hear the song?
What song? Stop messing with me and I'm just going to slam the box. As if that helps.
We'll see her kind of do that and just kind of flinch back slightly and
She's going to sit there kind of like listening for some sort of song. Because she thinks everything's that obvious. I don't hear anything.
There's no reply.
Are you going to take me to the dance tonight?
Seaton will come and sit down.
Not in that way.
Come and sit down next to her. Of course we're going to the dance. It's a social thing we need to do.
I've never been to a posh dance.
Get in there, my
I don't
son. It's Mr. Morland there.
You've never been to... Of course. Do you know the basic dance routines that we done here? I mean, you'd have been taught some of these, surely. Ah. Then I feel a dance lesson, maybe?
A quick learner, but practice wouldn't hurt.
Let us find ourselves somewhere a little more private than on the...
Signy's already stood up and is like this.
And
Well.
Mr. Seaton and Signy find themselves somewhere, maybe at the front of the ship, where Mr. Seaton, aka Mr. Snobbington, can teach Signy some of the basics of the ballroom dances that are likely to occur on the ship. Dagmar spends time at the bar with Wenzel, enjoying the most ridiculously expensive and exquisite alcohols that are available aboard the ship. Dinner is served, and it is indeed a 5-course bonanza of extremely fancy, unnecessarily fancy foods. All served in the restaurant. After which, there is then a call for everybody to retire to the ballroom. And as I say that, I'm literally just moving everybody into the ballroom. There is then a call for everybody to retire to the ballroom for some entertainment and then dancing. Is that no? we are missing. We are missing you, and you. One moment, please. This was me not pre-preparing as the DM. Boop, 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 boop. Alrighty then. Okay. Retiring to the ballroom. And here we are. So, as everybody gets themselves a drink, and they settle themselves down in the ballroom, the Russians stand up and move to the very center of the ballroom dance floor. Quiet descends on the room as the two ballet dancers turn to face one another. Parshina delicately takes hold of Kovalenko's hand, and she does a graceful curtsy, and as she stands up, she picks up her leg, which comes right up behind her, pointing directly at the ceiling, as she delicately moves her body up and then down, signaling the start of an incredible performance from the two leads of the Russian ballet, who dance and twirl across the dance floor, to the delight and awe of everyone who is watching. Even those who are not so interested in, ballet and things can really see the talent and the skill of the two that perform here. And at the end of the performance, they take a deep bow, and then conversation erupts through the ballroom. They move off to the side, and then the music starts. And almost immediately, Shettle and Scarlett take to the dance floor and begin to dance and enjoy themselves.
I will offer out my hand to Signe and go, "May I have the honor of your first dance?"
Signy's caught off guard because she's literally has a tear because she's never seen ballet or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And she was awestruck. And she won't say anything, she'll just let you take her hand.
As we start, I'll whisper into her ears, "Don't worry, I will not expect you to do what the ballet did."
I mean, I could try.
I could try!
And what you don't realise is Signy has left her shoes under the chair.
Alright, Signy. Not to be horrifying or anything, but can you give me an agility roll, please?
Oh my god.
Here we go.
And you have a help.
Ooh.
Hey!
Agility. Oh, so I just type +1, yep.
Just
Yeah.
one. Don't put the plus in, it won't work.
Oh, just put 1.
Just the one. Yay! You're not horrendous! Clearly those dancing lessons paid off beautifully. Okay, I'm going to move the pair of you onto the dance floor because you two are terrible at token management. There you go. I will move you onto the dance floor. As you take to the dance floor, the Colonel begins to lead you through the same dance pattern that he had taught you earlier. The two Russian ballet join the dance floor as well, and there is dancing and there is merriment. We will join Dagmar back at the bar. Again, enjoying all the things that this exceptionally stocked bar have to offer. And Dagmar, you notice Madame Hilding staring at Mr. Seaton and Signy dancing. You got so many successes on observing this woman. I don't think I'm ever going to get you to roll. I'm just naturally going to assume you're like this. Like, go gadget binoculars. I'm watching you.
I mean, it's in character. So, well, even though I can tell that she's staring at Seaton and Signy. Is there any kind of indication as to the internal feeling regarding that stare? Like, is she puzzled by them? Is she looking with any disdain? Is she amused by them?
There is a fascination. Like, she looks like she's desperately trying to remember something, but just for the life of her she can't, and she's just staring. She suddenly breaks that eye contact. Her eyes flick straight over to you. She smiles, and then she turns to the young woman next to her, whispers in her ear, and the young woman hops up onto her feet and heads round the ballroom and then out of the room. Madame Hilding then kind of goes back to just sort of like looking like she is just sitting here enjoying herself, but there is something about this woman.
As Dagmar's convinced this person's basically can read minds, Dagmar's just going to think out loud in their head of, I'm on to you, Leandra. And see if there's a reaction from
with a like
Hilding.
With a like terrifying coincidence, or is it? She looks right at you as she finished thinking that. It's one of those, she just sort of looks over, smiles at you, and then she just carries on surveying the room. So it's like, it's not, it could just be a coincidence. Or is it?
And now Dagmar's going to return back to the revels. With both Dagmar and Benzel. Is that right?
Yes, Benzel.
Taking it in turns to introduce each other to drinks. And by this point, I was certainly in a state of merriment and happiness, with very, very large wads in their pocket. This one, Benzel, I learnt some time ago. They call it a slippery nipple.
A slippery nipple. Now, this one I've got to try.
Yeah, you will never look back. Probably because you can't.
I mean, if I move too quickly from this bar, I don't know in which direction I'm going to go.
Is the boat rocking or is it me?
Whoa.
I'm sure it's fun.
Cheers to
Hey.
the slippery nipple. There is much dancing. There is much drinking. There is much revelry.
While we're dancing,
Yeah.
can I try and subtly somehow get Mr. Seaton to smell the roses in my necklace? I don't know how I'm going to go
You're
about
gonna
it.
do some sort of very strange, like,
It's just... I say subtle,
Sniff
she's
me.
not very subtle.
I fully imagine, right? I fully imagine that you're trying to get Mr. Seaton to sniff the roses. Mr. Seaton is fully trying not to sniff the roses because they're around your neck. Mr. Seaton is now worried that he has led you on. Like, it's now turning into some social nightmare, and it's all publicly on display.
Sounds like our first date.
The horror of this social disaster, however, is immediately broken when one of the young women who is dancing with Madame Hilding suddenly gasps. And she gasps so loudly, like, it draws the attention of everybody. Madame Hilding has stopped dead in the middle of the dance floor, completely rigid. Her fingers are like claws, and you can see like the tendons and muscles in her neck, and you can see like a stricken look on her face. Every single muscle in her body is completely rigid, and it looks like she's in terrible pain. The room goes, like, there's gasps around the room as it goes quiet. The music stops everything. And in that silence, you all begin to hear Madame Hilding's voice. She's not shouting. She's not... It is almost like she's chanting. It is a far off, relaxed voice that comes out of her mouth. She doesn't really even look like her lips are moving, but the voice is loud enough that you can all hear in the sudden silence of the ballroom. And she says, "A lone island crossing the sea. The waves beat upon it, as does a terrible doom. A song haunts the halls of the ship. It calls to the deep. The deep will answer. We are all in terrible danger." And then she collapses to the floor with another set of gasps from everybody in the room, the young woman drops down to her, and the other young woman who had returned also rushes over to her.
I just kind of look over to Dagmar at the bar. And then back to Sydney and just 5 minutes of relaxation would be nice. And then I'll walk over to her.
Yeah. Everyone has sort of the two Russians have left the dance floor. Morland and Pierce are like doing that really awkward thing of not knowing if they should help or not, and not wanting to crowd it. So it's all a little awkward. Percival and Horatio have stood up. Amelia has stood up. The reporter is going wild, writing everything down.
Dagmar's sort of left the bar to come stand next to Signy and just see what's going on.
I will tend to. Sorry, who is this one here? That was
That's Morland.
Morland. Morland, good man. Go fetch Margot, the chief of staff.
Yes, of course. And he hurries through the ship and through the double doors that kind of lead into the middle of the ship.
Miss Pierce, if you could keep everyone calm and just away from the dance floor while we try and deal with this for the moment.
Yes, absolutely. And she heads straight over to Horatio and Percival and is like, sit down.
In a low voice, turn to the three ladies. How is everything? And kind of look over her.
Madame Hildring looks like she's sleeping. And the two young ladies look up at you. They then look at each other, and then they look back at you, and they say, Madame Hilding is okay. This isn't the first time this has happened. We just need to get her to her room so that she can sleep.
Okay. I will call over Dagmar and Signy and just kind of usher them over. We need help getting her to her room. Will she need, I kind of tend to go to, will she need to be carried? Or would she be able to go on her own?
The last time this happened, she woke up pretty quickly. She was a little wobbly on her feet, but we were able to get her to safety.
How long ago did this happen? When was it? When was the last time?
It was a few weeks ago. She said... They look right at each other, and then one of them nods to the one who is speaking, and she says, "Shh. She had a vision then. That there would be 3. Someone who had forgotten themselves. Someone with a terrible curse. And someone with a dark past. That they would be set adrift on a sinking ship. And that we had to help them. And that's when she invited herself aboard the maiden voyage. That's why we're here.
I'm gonna look at Seaton and go, sinking ship? I don't want to die on a ship.
No one's gonna die on this ship, not if we can help it.
You promised my mum.
I know I promised your mum.
Madam Hilding kind of rouses. She makes a funny little far-off noise as she awakens. She looks up all of you, a little confused, and then she looks at the two young women with her, and she says, "Oh, in the middle of the dance floor?" And the two young ladies nod at her, and she goes, "Mr. Seaton, would you be kind enough to help us back to our room?"
Of course I can. And I will try and make it so that she's... I'm guessing she's quite wobbly in her feet.
Yeah, she's quite
I would
wobbly
do
on
the
her feet.
best I can to make it look like she's able... She's very mobile, but I'm very much keeping her up.
Yes, we're downstairs in one of the first-class rooms, if you wouldn't mind. Okay. To save us traipsing through the map, I'm going to flick over to the Theatre of the Mind patch while I move all the tokens about. Do you all go with Mr. Seaton and Madam Hilding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The 6 of you head down the stairs to where all the first class rooms are.
As we're leaving, I just want to grab one of the staff members and just say, "Can you please let Margot know that we will need some fresh water and some towels? And any kind of medical professional that you might have aboard the ship."
Yes, of course. I'll pass the message on right now.
Perfect.
Alright. Here we go. Press this button. You go down to the first class rooms. And Madam Hilding, you return to Madam Hilding's room. Colonel, you help her onto her bed, and she lays down to rest. She's very much awake by the time you get back to her room, so she's very much awake. She just says that she needs to rest. She invites all of you into her room. I've kind of just plonked you about the room, but please feel free to move your tokens to wherever it is your character would be. All along one side of this room are these beautiful little porthole windows that let you look out to the sea. And this first class room is just like your rooms, so there's like a wall with all the porthole windows, a bed, a little comfortable sofa, a little washing basin. And as you all kind of get into the room, Madam Hilding says, "Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I've ruined the night."
At all. How?
I just know I have, causing a scene on the dance floor.
No such thing. It's fine. We have a professional coming now, just to keep up appearances. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just feeling a little silly.
Do you remember what you said?
No, I don't.
I will retell it to her. Unfortunately, I was only to get about half of it written down.
Well, that's gonna be a problem.
It's not, because I'll just rewind and watch it again.
Just go back and watch the pod. You can catch up on our YouTube if you did.
If you can't remember said incantation,
If you also can't, you can catch up on our YouTube. When you repeat it to her, give me an observation roll, Mr. Seaton.
I have a hinder, don't I?
You do have a hinder.
be more Dagmar. That's the spirit.
Okay, when you repeat it to her, you realise that she was not being honest with you. Actually, she did remember everything that she had said. She was hoping that nobody else did remember it all. And by playing the "oh, I don't remember" card, she wouldn't have to repeat it. You get that sense from her. She doesn't say anything or give it away, but you get that feeling from her facial expressions. She looks very concerned. She looks over to the two young women with her, and you know she is now standing at the fork in the road. She has to make a choice. Does she go down one road of pretending that she's just a silly old woman and you don't need to listen to her? Or does she go down the other road, potentially revealing far too much about the truth?
Just while we've been stood here, I would like to have been looking over them and seeing if they've got any, around the room, any roads and crosses at all? Or anything that indicates that?
Good shout. It will be a vigilance check. An investigation. No, not vigilance. Investigation check.
I have anything that helps with that.
Would Signia or Dagmar be doing the same?
Dagmar would be.
You're muted, Amy.
Dagmar will be scoping the whole room out.
Yeah, I would be literally, if this is a table that I'm near, my plan was to literally just be picking every item up and...
Just looking at everything.
Yeah,
in that
I'm kind of
case-
looking for any signs that she's some sort of like, I'm expecting like a crystal ball or something.
Yeah, or anything that would give away that she's a charlatan as well. Like any of the things that
Completely,
you used to
yeah.
in a scam. Yeah. Mr. Seaton, you would get to roll 2 extra dice, 1 for each of the assistants.
And this is a vigilance roll.
It's an investigation.
Oh, it's investigation.
Sorry.
2 extra dice. Is that including the hinder as well?
No,
So
that is not including the hinder.
just 1 extra dice. Oh, yes!
Okay. There are no rows and crosses in this room at all. There are also no society signs. There are no giveaway clues or telltale anything in here. And you immediately feel like that in itself is a clue. This room doesn't match this woman at all. The belongings in this room don't match this woman at all. Everything in here is so normal that actually it is ceasing to be normal anymore. It's like this is a smoke screen. This is a desperate... This is all part of this secret that you are now becoming aware of its existence. Like Dagmar. Dagmar knows that this woman has a secret. There is something about this woman. You now are starting to realise that as well. That there is something amiss here. Something isn't right. And while you're looking around, she makes her decision. And she says, I would say to just ignore me, because I'm a silly old woman. But you wouldn't believe me, would you?
No.
Damn right we wouldn't believe you.
I need to rest. And play out whatever charade we need to play out with the doctor or whatever. But tomorrow, we need to talk. Because we are all in terrible danger.
We were in such danger. Waiting till tomorrow seems outrageously risky.
And sadly, Dagmar and I have experience of leaving important conversations till tomorrow. And the
I'm
Do we?
not going to die.
At this point, Signy's going to run over and be like, no, but I might on a sinking ship.
The ship isn't sinking. And it won't
What's-
be for some time.
How do you know that? And Dagmar's going to look at the two young girls and go, how does she know that?
There is a really awkward... there's a really awkward silence in the room. And then Madam Hilding decides to take matters into her hands. And she looks right at you. She looks right at you, Dagmar, and she says, I know these things the same way that you can see the blue fire. The same way that you, and she turns to Signy, can hear it speaking to you. And then she turns to the Colonel and she says, and the way that you can see all these things too.
You do have the sight, don't you?
Yes. Just like the three of you.
inside Seaton's head, he's trying to weigh up how to ask if she's part of the Rosencross or part of the society, but not saying it out loud. And the only reason I'm telling you, DM, this is from how if it's important
she
to
can hear
her.
your mind, if she can hear you thinking,
Yeah.
she'll know how to answer. Okay.
Yeah.
She takes a deep breath and she says, I am not going to die tonight. None of us are. Every one of us will be perfectly safe. Do not fear.
Dagmar's just gonna think the word liar.
I just need to rest and to unmuddle my thoughts so that I do not say the wrong thing.
It is understandable. If there is anything that you need,
You will be the first to know.
appreciate it. I will go check on where Margot is with these, with your water, and a professional.
Do all three of you make motions to leave Madam
Dagmar's
Hilden's
drunk.
room?
Dagmar's drunk and angry. Dagmar doesn't want to leave it until tomorrow. Dagmar's very flustered by what has been said to them.
Signy does quietly leave.
Mr. Seaton?
I have opened the door for Signy to leave and seen Dagmar still there, like, Dagmar. Please.
Dagmar's going to reluctantly leave, but has just been stood at the end of that bed, kind of like shaking with
All the feels.
fear and anger. All the feels.
Mr. Seaton, as you go to leave, Madam Hilding says, Mr. Seaton, 1 minute. She turns to look at one of the young ladies and she says, Shimza, make sure the Colonel gets his gift. As she kind of, like, as she rolls over. And what do you say?
And she says, that must be a slip of the tongue. I am not the Colonel.
The young woman grabs something from the side as she walks towards you, picking something up, and as she gets right in front of you, she's got her hands behind her back, and she gets right in front of you, and then she says, in a quiet voice, Madam Hilding. Madam Hilding knew that you were sad, and so she wanted to give you a gift that would brighten up your mood. And sorry, in all the commotion I forgot to give these to you. And she brings her hands out from behind her back, and she is clutching a little bunch of roses that she hands to you.
I will take the roses. Thank you.
Madam Hilding hopes that these will remind you of happier days.
Say thank you to her for me when she wakes.
I will do. Thank you for helping us.
You're more than welcome.
And then she turns from being like this little being to suddenly now kind of ushering all three of you out of the room. She turns from like little, like young woman into now she kind of takes on the mantle of almost servant, kind of ushering guests out of someone's room. Into the corridor. And as the three of you step into the corridor, Dagmar and Signy, I imagine you turn to look at the Colonel, who is standing there with like a little bunch of roses.
I will give them a soft sniff.
A little bit strange, your fortune teller, Seaton.
That she's not my fortune teller.
You're the one who said she was a fortune teller. Now she can see everything about us, apparently.
appears so. I will try and usher us along. Which way is it to the stairs?
That is a good question. It is it's down.
It's down.
I
I will
will
try and.
save you from having to negotiate the rather complicated ship map because it's quite extensive. It's a big ship. This map. And we will flick over to the theatre of the mind. So, where are you guys headed?
I would assume to head back to the ballroom to relay the information that everything's fine. She's being seen to. Nothing to worry about.
Dagmar's still kind of shaking with combinations of anger and fear, so Dagmar's going to go to their room.
Yeah. Signy's going to retrieve her shoes that are still in the ballroom and then go to her room.
I'll try and walk with Dagmar for a bit then. And just be like, one of the things I would like to ascertain is knowing whether she's on our side or that of the Rosen Cross.
I'm just going to assume the worst case scenario. I don't trust them.
It is fair. Signy, where do you stand?
Oh, you're saying this before I'm gone?
Yeah, this is literally as we get in the corridor still. I'm trying to jump in with this.
All right, sorry. What did you say?
Where do you stand if she's on the Rosen Cross or with the Society?
I don't understand all your politics. I'm here for an adventure, and to be honest, it's horrible.
Seems every time I go somewhere with you, especially on some form of transport, there's a nightmare. Also, what are you sad about? What on earth have you got to be sad about?
Oh.
Well, apparently he's not him. Sorry, but everyone should know.
Colonel Barty Farty?
It's Mister. I'm not my brother. I mean, we look very similar. It's understandable that people get us confused. I am very surprised that so many people seem to know who my brother is.
Well, something's not right. Maybe it's time to wake up and smell the roses. And I'm going to walk up.
I've got them here. Fine.
Your brother wouldn't have made us leave. Dagmar storms off.
It's also so fucking true.
So true. And that leaves the Colonel. Everything is arranged. Colonel, you find that actually the crew of the ship are well organised and well put together. There is a medic on board. There is one of the waiting staff is assigned to the room. They kick into gear. They do everything that you would expect them to do. The service really is exceptional aboard the ship.
Once I know everyone's kind of in place, I will head back to my room. And while I'm there, I'll kind of take my pin brooch off of my briar roses and hold it in my hands, while holding the other bunch of roses, and try and remember it being given to me.
And you can't. There is no memory of who gave you the briar rose pin. There's no memory at all. There is nothing.
I will then walk over to the mirror that I'm assuming will be in my room.
Mhm.
Out of interest, do I still have all my scars?
Your reflection certainly does.
As I'm looking and I've seen this face so many times, I'll just stare back at it and go, who are you?
I mean, what a good place to stop the And that is where we're gonna call it this evening. Because
Wow.
What a hanger! What a cliffhanger!
What a cliffhanger!
Perfect timing.
An amazing cliffhanger. I have to go because Dottie's awake. So
Oh.
No worries.
I've been Amy. You can't find me anywhere.
Yay!
Oh, that was
Hang on,
so
hang on.
good.
While we wrap up, I'm just clipping that.
It's so good.
Amazing.
And that brings us to the end of our second episode of Chapter 8. And actually, that brings us to the end of the last episode of the Society for 2023, as we are going to be taking a break over the festive period, because we all festive and got lots to be doing that that isn't coming here. So we are. Let's do our normal. We'll do our round robin. We already know that that Signy was played by Amy, and you can't find her anywhere. It's beautifully done. And so we'll start at the bottom and go to the top. So, Mr. Seaton, who are you? Who did you play? Where can we find you? What do you want to say?
Yeah, so I'm Jack. I've been playing Mr. Seaton. You can find me on Instagram under jmbarber_the Colonel.
Not the Colonel.
No, I need to change that. I do need to change that. It's just been amazing. This year's been fantastic playing the Society. Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much. And while I have this little opportunity, I do have some of Shusha's artwork
Yes.
in sticker form
It's so good.
that will be going on the back of laptops.
I love this one. I love
And
the like little tree antlers. This honestly.
well,
it's too good.
I've got a couple of these. My little girl, I got one of these for,
What?
and when she woke up in the morning, I gave it to her after our Christmas shindigs, and she put it straight on her pajamas and went to wear it straight away.
Oh, cute! All of this amazing, all of the amazing artwork by our resident artist Shusha can be found via the various links that we have provided. So you can head over to www.shusha.co.uk. That's ZSUZSA, and this time it is .co.uk. You can head over to her Instagram. Down in our About Us on our Twitch channel, you will find her logo, and this will take you to some of the that will get you onto the link train, where you can get her incredible artwork, merch, and products via her Etsy store and the Kickstarters that she runs. It's genuinely incredible and definitely worth a look. So go check it out. Anything else, Mr. Seaton, before we...
I'm good. That's all. That's all me for this year.
Okay, Dagmar, who are you? Who did you play? Where can we find you? What do you want to say?
Hello. So I'm Dan, also known as Div and Ink, and I've been playing Dagmar Eriksson. I can be found on a multitude of platforms. On Twitch as Div_and_Ink, but I can also be found under the name Div and Ink on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Tonight has been a roller coaster of emotions, but genuinely really, really good fun. And yeah, huge congrats for an amazing 2023. Thank you for letting me be a part of it, and for everyone else who's been a part of it in all the ways, shapes, and forms. It's utterly fabulous, and long may it continue.
Thank you very, very much. And thank you to everyone who is a part of the society, and thank you to the viewers. We are all just one great big society at this point, celebrating tabletop roleplay games and Vaesen and all the fun and silliness that you can have playing these games. Huge thank you to all of our cast for this episode and all the episodes that we have done this year. Without all of you, you bring my stories to life. It would just be notes in my notebook and ridiculously complicated maps, and that would be it. So thank you so much to all the cast for bringing everything to life and making the society all what it is, all of this storytelling shenanigans that we get up to. I am Loki. I have been your GM for these dark and thrilling tales. You can find me here on the Society, where we are carrying on with our Vaesen RPG campaign. You can find me tomorrow. Ooh. You can find me tomorrow over on Breeze's channel, where I will be taking part in a most fun and deeply ridiculous Monday Night Combat. It will be Breezer, myself, Sparkle Muffin, and Serve with Ice, who will all be playing party animals and swearing profusely whilst we try and clubber each other half to death as the cutest little plushy creatures that you've ever seen. All the while, Breezer teaches me really rude words in Dutch. So that is tomorrow. So do make sure you swing on over to Breeze's channel, where you can join in with the fun and the frolics and the hilarity and the shenanigans. Other than that, if you want to see me on the other side of the DM screen, you can catch me as a player over at Grumpy Battersby's channel, where I play Flink, the criminal mastermind, who at the moment is trying to prepare yourselves, who is trying to assist my chimpanzee friend to steal the lollipops from a hospital, all as a ruse to distract from a terrorist organization who are trying to tamper with the sperm bank. I'm just going to let that sink in. Thursday, over on Grumpy Battersby's channel at 6 p.m. GMT. If you want to understand any of that, do head on over and join in the fun and the frolics. And that is it. That is all the things. As I said, this is us for 2023. We are going to go and we're going to go and have a festive break. We are going to be back on the 7th of January, which is going to be the first of the Society live streams of 2024. So all of us at the Society want to wish you a very happy festive season and a very happy new year, and we will see you on the other side. We're going to head over to the credits, so we're going to say goodbye to our fabulous cast members. We're going to head over to the credits so you can see the little credit roll, and while we look for someone to raid into. Here we go. Credits. And it's actually me! And not me here and someone else up here. I fixed it. I know, right? Pro Strimmer over here. Over here on my, I don't even know if it's my left or right, because this is mirrored to me to be the right. Anyway, over here, the credits are going to slowly roll up. So if you saw anything in our live stream this evening that you would like at your tabletop, please do and go and check out these incredible contributors and content creators. They are all of them amazing, and they all help us make the Society what it is. So do go and check them out. Links are below in the YouTube if you are catching up on that platform, or in the chat if you are watching us live on Twitch. While we do that, I am going to try and find someone to raid. Do we have a raider? Any of the mods that are knocking around in chat? Normally, aha! Thank you very much. Okay, so the raid is So Matty Game Z. It's probably games, right? Holiday, Helping Heart, Hands, Game 1, Holly Tech, and Jolly Mancy. This sounds really Christmassy. I'm just throwing that out there. This sounds like this might be very, very Christmassy. I'm very excited. Let me grab out this information and set this raid up, see if this is going to work. I always panic that this isn't going to do what it says it's going to do on the... I can't... It's not if I type Ryad. That's not going to work at all. Here we are, /raid. Like I said, please do go and check out any of the incredible contributors over here. Calling out 3D Dice, who have already rolled by. We got to see their 3D Dice for the first time in our stream today. So... for the 3D dice that roll in our stream as a redeem, it is all powered by the 3D dice platform. If you do virtual tabletops, do go and check them out, where they have a huge list of 3D rollable dice that you can include in your tabletop game. They link to a lot of the virtual tabletops like Roll20, so you can incorporate all of these incredible dice into your game. And what's most exciting is you can create your own custom sets of dice as well. It's quite cool. Go and check them out. Here we are. I've hit the raid button. It has been created! Hurrah! Thank you very much, everybody, for coming along this evening and joining us while we do these silly tabletop roleplay games. We're going to be raiding over now to So Matty Games. It's a capital Z. It could be Game Z or Games, who knows. We're going to head on over to them now. I just want to make sure that I do one last thank you to all of our amazing viewers and wish you a very happy festive season and a happy new year. And we will see you in 2024.